Hello guys and welcome back to Air Tycoon. Yeah, I am basically climbing up the what the fuck, leaderboard right now. It's going pretty fast to be honest. Yeah, if we take a look at my income, if I can find the darn tab which that's in, which sometimes can take a while when, um, I forget how the menu looks basically every time I play this game. Um, Alright, here we go, finally. 176k. So I think the AIs are still stuck around 50k. So we're really flying past the AIs now. Um, Almost like at a speed which is like it feels a bit easy once you figure out the start. So yeah, anyways guys, in case you missed everything to do with the start, the way I started this game is that is loud. Yeah, the way I started this game is basically just buying the cheapest Tupolevs possible and then flying Boeing 747s on a lease. And then you put them on a stopover route, the bigger ones, and boom, all of a sudden you have profit. Yeah, I guess it's really similar to the previous Air Tycoons. Uh, Now, also, yes, I know, I'm super lazy, rewatched the first episode of Air Tycoon, and I just realized that thanks to the background music, the audio is almost inaudible, and I apologize for that. It's kind of a shame because like the way Google searches and stuff, that first episode is always going to be the one which shows up for Air Tycoon Online 5, and it's terrible, like, unfortunately. So, oh well. Lesson learned. Maybe I'll re-record that episode on a fresh world and just like continue it as if and re-upload it because the episode 1 should be pretty good. Um, if I want the series to ever catch any traction. Now, I know that the player base for this game isn't particularly big, so thank you guys all who do tune in because it's actually not. There's not too many active players for this game. I think all the games combined probably have a few million downloads. I'm not really sure. So it's pretty nice to have even captured the audience I do have. So thank you guys all very much for watching. But yeah, as you guys can see here, I'm just putting all these Tupolev 134s to work, kind of. Yeah, just getting them to do something, I guess. Like, yeah, all these pretty basic, uh, flights here. Yeah, I think we have more 747s coming in too. So it's much of the same strategy, but like, I'm just starting to wonder how much longer I can stretch like London, or like how much more I can continue to just use London, because I do feel like I'm eventually gonna need a new hub, and it's not gonna be soon enough, basically. So yeah, with the current rate of expansion, at least with the 747 strategy, it's not gonna be long before I run out of things to do. So I think it's basically about time. I'm level 3 now. And Jesus Christ, let's take a look at everything. So, the level 3, doesn't seem to have affected our expenses very much at all. But look at that now. Boom! We are really capturing a lot of the London market. So, let's see if we can kind of finish off with our 747 routes. Because the 747s are, of course, the quote-unquote bread and butter of this strategy. The things making most of the damn money. So looking at this, not really too sure where to link up with this stopover. I need to find a slightly bigger pair of cities. I think Miami. Yeah, why not Miami? Because Miami is small now, but it's gonna grow. So let's go ahead and price these. Yeah, hopefully Miami grows soon, because I know that the current routes I have to Orlando and Vegas, which in anticipation of them growing, right now they're still quite small. So boom, that's one. What else can I do? Memphis? We can do something like Memphis. I somehow feel like I used Memphis in the last episode, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, I really somehow feel like I used it, but I guess not, because it's not used, or it's somehow like the game got rolled back or something, which tends to happen because I don't really understand how the saving works, and it just seems to roll itself back all the time. But let's go ahead and make this route. So another thing I'm wondering, should I keep doing the Tupolevs or should I switch? I think I should do another batch of about 10 Tupolevs, and then that's probably about it. The slightly larger 134s don't fill as easily, and they cost quite a bit more. I think 4 million more. So let's take a look at how they're doing after just a single turn. So they're probably going to be on the bottom here. So the 134 seem to be better than the 124s. Actually, they're already turning a profit at 50% occupancy. And if I sort by profit here, you guys can see there's tons of 7.4s up here. All 7.4s, obviously. And even the ones which aren't, like, you wouldn't think would do really well. Let's see if I can find one here, like Wuhan to London. Wuhan not being a particularly large city, well, it's completely full. So it looks like I still have much more room for a ton more 747s. Now, to accommodate them, of course, I'm going to need to buy even more freaking Tupolevs, which is starting to be the problem, because I think I'm running out of routes I can make with the Tupolevs. Let's see. Yeah, Tupolev 134, I guess. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and order a whole bunch more. Make sure the seating is on minimum. And go ahead and let's just order a solid 10 of those. And that should allow me to put in another large order of leased Boeings. Wow, it'll let me just lease 5 just like that. That's awesome. Alright, sweet. So, oh, I forgot to leave money for fuel. Well, we'll fill up what we can, I guess. Yeah, looks like we're not gonna be saving a lot of money on fuel this month, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and yeah, look at the drop in profit when I forget to fill my fuel tanks. Really big difference, eh? Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a lot more beneficial to fill the fuel tanks. Gotta remember, um, doesn't take long, but makes a big difference in the amount of savings. So what do we have here? We have 1747 with 5 incoming, so that's a lot of routes. I hope I can find that many 747 worthy routes. So let's take a look. Molten is a decently sized city, but I'm kind of running out of decently sized destinations. Let's scout. Yeah, I feel like I used Monterey yesterday. You know what probably happened? I might have played a bit after recording, but then it didn't save. No, this is really interesting, because I really do feel like I used some of these cities yesterday. But somehow, the game doesn't remember, or am I the one? Okay, I'm almost certainly the one who doesn't remember properly. But, yeah, for some reason I feel like I used that yesterday. Maybe I'm going crazy, maybe it was a different game, I don't know. But, yeah, anyways, let's just try and ignore that and continue on with our conquest of London, I guess. Yeah, the amount of passengers you can generate from the little routes in this game is unrealistic, whereas I feel like for a lot of the bigger routes, like London to New York, for example, should be able to support 5, 6, 7, while in real life it's probably like 30, 40 or more planes constantly flying between those two destinations, or more even, like probably more, to be honest. And I kind of wish that was the case in Air Tycoon. But anyways, let's just not think about that for now and go ahead. I think we're receiving a behemoth amount of planes this turn. So let's look at our leaderboards. Yeah, we're 19th, vaulting up another 2 ranks, despite, you know, our excessive leases of 747s. And yeah, see if we can find like destinations. Like that's the real challenge now. And let's also check how our Tupolevs are doing, our 134s. Because I'm confident the 124s are doing okay, so let's just click this until we see 134. Oh no, it's going to be in the middle because it's alphabetical. I wish it like toggled which airplane was first. But now I just have to find the 134s. I don't see them. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so the amount of money they make appears to be the exact same as a 124. You see what I mean? Like just maybe a little bit slight touch more, which is nice, I guess. Yeah, the slight touch more I'm not concerned about. It's just nice to see that they actually are making money and not losing me money, which is the most important thing, I guess. Yeah, for example, oh god, London is out of slots. Well, because London's out of slots, I gotta make all the rest of the routes long-range ones, eh? The long-range routes obviously should be given priority over the short-range ones. I'm looking for routes to work with here, and I'm starting to see a severe lack of stopover destinations on the North American side, which is usually the problem. Let's see. I mean, I guess that means I'll start to use the cities which are around 300, like Vancouver. So, for example, I'll be doing Vancouver to London, which in real life, by the way, could support 747s. One very, very popular route to Vancouver, of course. And I should start to do it to cities like Xiamen, for example, on the Chinese side or on the Asian side. Let's go ahead and price these up. I just want to make sure that my margin stays decent. I mean, I usually always already run relatively low margin, high scale airlines. So yeah, it'll be important to keep the margin up here. Don't completely drop the margin as an important factor. So yeah, let's go ahead and drop these 747s, I guess. So maybe Portland, Sacramento, nope, way too small. Tucson, a little bit small. I want to find a slightly larger city, but I don't know if they exist anymore, like St. Louis, Tampa. Why not? Why not Tampa? And we get 4 schedules too, so that's nice. Let's go ahead and fix this up. All right, very nice. I forget something too. Can I use a city which isn't linked to my hub as the middle city? So for example, can I do this? Is there a single stopover capable city I haven't used yet? So Dhaka is stopover capable. So I just want to try this, okay? Oh my god, I can make stopovers like that. I feel like this is some missed opportunities here. I probably could have made a lot of cool stopovers. Accessing South America, for example. But can I do something like... Can I do double stops? I don't think so. Let's try something. Can I double use a city? So can I do this, for example? I can't, which is a shame because that should be possible. You know what I mean? Yeah, too bad. So when a route is used, it is used in this game. You can't double up on it. That's a bit of unfortunate shame because that would have been a really cool stopover. Yeah, I completely forgot you can use cities which aren't your main city as a stopover point, but at the same time, that becomes impractical also because there's so few cities which are stopover capable, which you wouldn't you'd want to otherwise just use anywhere else to make sure the stopover is as good as it can be, or you can even fly it direct. but I would never fly anything direct because stopovers just seem to make more money. I mean, the stopover takes half the plane and makes probably about 80% of the profit that the direct route would. So the other half of the plane makes it, I don't know, 140% as profitable for a singular plane, which is just unbeatable, basically. Looking at this, though, yeah, we're really, really running short on cities to be the base for the stopover on the North American side of things. So I'm gonna have to start using cities which aren't even 300 on jumbo jets. So maybe it's time I switch away from jumbo jets, though I am yet to see a jumbo jet which does not reach 100% occupancy. So if this is finally what does it, what kind of stops a jumbo jet from hitting 100% occupancy, then so be it. I know in the future even I'm gonna want to upgrade a lot of these routes to A380s because the routes I'm making now, boy, they are able to support really big planes once they're stopovered. Do I have any jumbo jets left? I still have one. Wow. I'm just looking for the biggest cities in Asia. Ho Chi Minh is nice, but it's a bit too far, I believe. Kunming is also nice, but there's probably something bigger. Chennai is pretty good. Let's go with Karachi. Karachi is pretty big, so let's do this. To London, and gotta find something nice on this side, the hard part. Like St. Louis even isn't that big, but Tucson is decent actually. And perfect, that's exactly how many slots we have in London. And boop. Okay, so we're gonna have a problem here, which is London is gonna be full for a few turns. So I'm gonna have nothing to do, basically. Yeah, because London is full for a few turns, and can I open a new hub yet? Let's check it out. So Paris is getting close. Let me speed up some of the incoming hubs. I think it's worth investing more in these hubs now because I'm just gonna need more. Basically, I'm pretty sure. What other hubs should I consider? How is Frankfurt? 700, 650, way bigger. Pretty small. So Paris seems to be the only other one I'm really gonna want to look to make in Europe. And the North Atlanta's tiny. Why am I doing Atlanta? New York's huge. Chicago is pretty big. LA is huge. So those will be my priorities. And what's huge in Asia? Tokyo 800, Seoul 700, Beijing 800, Shanghai 750, Guangzhou 800. So it looks like Guangzhou and Tokyo and Seoul should be my main priorities in Asia. So let's go ahead and invest in those cities. Shanghai, there is. Let's tune up some investment. Guangzhou, tune up investment. And what was the last one? Tokyo? Do I have Tokyo right now even? No, I haven't even started Tokyo. Tokyo, let's go ahead and ramp that. Try and catch that up. So obviously we're gonna have some decreased profit. What do I have? Oh yeah, I have all the 1 through 4s I can't use. So yeah, I think now would be a good time to switch to a slightly smaller model of plane. But first though, I just need to check to see how some of these 747 routes end up doing. I see routes like Hangzhou are full. Indianapolis is, no problem. Just sticking to 100%, which is pretty impressive. And the satisfaction is only 77 now too, so. Yeah, when the plane came out, it was 100? How has it dropped that much? Hold up. No, it hasn't dropped too much. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pass turns until London frees up. And I'm not gonna put in plane orders because they'll drain money in the meantime. And also, I want to decide what to do now. So, like, do I continue with 747s or do I switch? And basically, what I need to see is I need to see Boeing 747s, which aren't 100%. And it looks to me like they're literally all still locked at 100. Okay, we're starting to see some drops. I think these are new. Yeah, only new planes. Like, I need to see a red arrow and not 100%. You see what I mean? Because the green arrow ones are new routes, and the green arrow ones are new, so they're increasing all the time. Even routes like Orlando, which, like, is almost a non-existent city right now. So yeah. Past another month. And I forgot to buy fuel again. Like, for like 3 turns in a row. And I'm still increasing my profit, but luckily fuel is cheapening up, so. Okay, I think London is going to upgrade in 2 more turns. So let's drop another load of orders. But I can't even think of what I would use 134s anymore for. I don't have that many more routes. Anyways, let's just do it. Like, this should be my last order of these, because I know I'm not going to be able to think of anything else to do with them. Oh, don't. I want more than one, guys. I want more than one. Satisfaction is down to 99 with the minimum seat pitch, so that's a bit unfortunate. I think I should be able to order some more. Alright, sweet. Yeah, so the fuel plus the new leases, yeah. I was expecting even profit, but it went down. The month is also slightly worse than before. Yeah, let's check it out. Fuel expense, look at that, down 16k. But routes, 747s, are any of these? Okay. So I'm starting to make routes which don't get hard locked at 100% anymore. Nagoya, I'm surprised Nagoya. I feel like there's an alternative reason for this. Nope, still satisfied. I found the reason. Yep, I was like, I don't really believe that a route like Nagoya would drop from 100%, so I think this was the actual reason why. And that's because my counters and slots were redlining, which is never a good thing. So with that fixed, I can expect that my routes will also return to being profitable. So I can continue quite confidently with the 747 Tupolev strategy. The only problem with that is I'm legitimately just running out of routes I can possibly make with Tupolevs. Yeah, check this out. Like, I think I'm just gonna make every route possible for Tupolevs. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my new plan, eh? Let's go ahead and max out the London slots. Nope, I'm trying to click on London. Okay, there we go. Also, I'm thinking of another problem right now. I remember that a big problem for stopovers to the States is you can't really do anything besides direct flights. For example, New York, right? You want to connect to all these little cities. Well, you got to use stopovers. What the frick do you use on the other side, right? There's not that much to work with. You have this and South America. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to run the rest of the routes in direct flights. But obviously we don't have to worry about that now. Now we're just worried about getting our Tupolev flying. Yeah, I think I'm going to run out of cities within 3,000 kilometers of London, which aren't right next to London, because those ones kind of lose money. So, and if they're gonna like almost lose money, basically, I don't really want to run the flights, you know, just to lease 747s. I'd rather just buy my own 747s and run them profitably, basically. And yeah, Jesus, we are really chugging the slots in London. uh, Not a lot of cities left, really. Not a lot of cities left. Whew. Alright. I'm kind of running out of things to say too, really repetitive gameplay. Maybe I should talk about some in real life stuff, but then again, I can't think of any of that either, because nothing has been going on. Well, I could talk about, like, just what happened recently, which is, like, I slept with the window open, and now I have, like, a freaking cold or some shit, and I feel terrible. But, like, I don't think anyone cares, so, um... yeah, I don't know. Like, should I talk about airplane stuff? But I can't think of any airplane stuff right now. Well, I can actually because I just thought of the 737 Max and what a shame it is that, like, okay. So, I am not the kind of person who finds like tragic events such as like the death of all the like 500 some people who lost their lives from the 747 Max crashes. Like, I don't think very emotionally. So when something like I hear about something like that, I tend to think of the economic and kind of ideological ramifications of that instead. And I think it's just kind of a shame that the Max, which is in my opinion probably still going to be a great aircraft, um, like once they sort out like how to solve the issues related to the MCAS systems, which are the things failing, which are causing the 737 Maxes to crash, or with the ones that have so far at least. And I think once they sort that stuff out, I think it's still a great plane because I'm a big fan of competition. Basically, the more competition you have, um, the better things are for the consumer. And while I rarely ever fly, I'm rarely ever going to be a consumer of flights. Um, I think one day, I basically hope that in Canada we can get an airline which is on the same level of cheapness compared to the other carriers as Ryanair. Like, I know Ryanair is one of the most hated airlines in the world, and I cannot tell you why. Because I think what it does for the economy of traveling, basically, is invaluable because it makes transportation in some senses of just a person, not it's not like the company you want to take if you're moving houses or going on an extremely long vacation, but just the fact you can in theory go from point A to point B for the prices that Ryanair offers is like amazing. So, the better airplanes get, the higher chance there is we get more things spawning like that. And maybe one day Canada will get a budget carrier as good as Ryanair, basically. Now, we do have pretty good budget carriers. We have Flair and Swoop, which, if you don't live in Canada, you probably never heard of. But they're two budget carriers we have here in Canada, and they're pretty good. But at the same time, they still don't really compete on the same level as Ryanair. They have extremely limited destinations. So, for example, I live in Vancouver, and um, if I want to like fly somewhere in Canada, if only Air Canada offers the flight, I can be expecting to pay $600 to $800 for a domestic flight, like Vancouver to Toronto, for example. It can easily cost $600 to $800 if you're pretty good at finding cheap flights. Where at the same time, I can fly on Air Canada to Beijing from Vancouver, which is, I don't know, like 2.5 times the distance. It's not, I think it's farther than 8,000 K actually. The actual flight path is close to 9,000 kilometers. And that's like 3 times the distance to Toronto for around 500 CAD. And it's only 700 when it gets quite expensive. Like, I went during a peak travel season and I paid 700 Canadian dollars for that ticket, which is not too bad of a price. But I mean, traveling on like Air Canada to destinations where there's not a lot of competition within Canada, oh my god, we can get ridiculous prices. I mean, I'm complaining about $800 domestic flights. Well, there's places in the north, for example, of Canada where the services are being cut and cut and cut due to pilot shortages. Um, yeah, as pilot as a career path seems to get less and less viable with the extreme upfront cost and the low entry pay. Like going to become a commercial pilot costs who knows how much. Like my friend tells me it's around $100,000, which is why he couldn't pursue it basically, where he kind of wanted to be a pilot. Um, and then he chose elsewhere because that's just not practical to put yourself in that much debt to then make a starting salary that is probably going to be close to around 30,000. So with that in mind, he chose elsewhere, and there's becoming a greater and greater pilot shortage in smaller markets, like for like the not mainstream like big carriers, which you hear about, the Gulf carriers, Emirates, Qatar, Air Canada, freaking British Airways, Lufthansa, all these big flag carriers. A lot of the pilots, of course, had to start out most likely in working in smaller places, and they're simply running out of pilots because the big carriers, of course, are going to be the last ones to be affected. I mean, whatever effect there is in the lack of pilots, they're the ones who are affected last because they're the most desirable. There's always going to be a supply of people who want to work for a high salary like that. But the steps people need to do to take there are becoming so unappealing that nobody is taking them. And the effect is schedules are being cut in rural places like Canada has a lot of. We have an enormous area of land with very little people. There's a lot of rural flights. And these are some of the places which are most affected by schedule cuts. And the prices can be ridiculous. Like, luckily, I'm not affected by it, obviously, but you can be looking at 2,000 CAD for a relatively short hop. Because also in a lot of these places, it's air travel is basically the only practical way to get there. There might not be roads which connect the outside world. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a small problem, but yeah. Going back to the Max, I hope that they can work their stuff out and we can see those nice birds take to the sky, basically. Anyways, that was a long tangent, wasn't it? Long and probably difficult to follow unless you already have a lot of background knowledge on planes and piloting and such, because I'm confusing when I talk about shit like that. I know it. So yes, if you guys couldn't follow, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I tend to do that. um. All right, so back to the game now. Yeah, as you can see, the gameplay getting pretty repetitive. Yo, just same routes over and over again. Maybe I shouldn't record everything because the progress is gonna be too slow. If you know what I mean. Like, this is just making routes to London. I mean, look at that. Just boom, you know. It's a lot of routes to London. How many planes do I have? 142, all based out of London. So, yeah, gameplay is probably getting a bit repetitive now. So I'm wondering if I should literally do something just to break it up. But at the same time, my original goal with this world is just to make the most money possible. Like, I don't care about micro efficiency because it's just really tedious to get. Like, I could be probably 3, 4, 5, 6% more efficient every single turn, but while that would add up to an insane amount by the end of the game, I feel like that's not going to be the limiting factor, to be honest. I think by the mid 80s, the limiting factor for me is going to be how much am I bothered to do per turn if I ever want to reach the end of this world. Because as you guys can see, it's already taking me a long time per turn. If you guys have noticed, like, it's gone from, clicking past turn every few minutes, and by 1973 it's taking me a long while. So I don't know which is going to happen first. I run out of routes, or I run out of demand, or I run out of money. I really don't know what's going to happen first here, but it looks like at this rate, the thing that's going to run out first is my patience. um, like, I don't mind spending a long time per turn at the beginning, but I don't know how it's going to hold up when I just want to get to the end. You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably going to have 8 to 10,000 aircraft, if I were to guess. Um, yeah, this isn't like online where I'm limited by the request speed. So, yeah, we could see some ridiculous stuff if I continue on down this track. But don't think I will because I think I've just ran out of 747 worthy routes. Like literally just now. I don't think there's any more routes I really want to make with the 747. Like St. Louis? Yeah, very interesting. Um, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go through and once again see if I can spot any of those 747s dropping out of being some of the most profitable. But I'm gonna have to do this with Paris next. So yeah, that's gonna be a whole debacle. So what's my profit looking at right now? 181, though I think I forgot to buy fuel. So, read into that as much as you want. It's barely 1K a plane. Gosh darn it. I only have 42 747s, though, which are the ones making the vast majority of the money. And can I find 10 routes for TU-134s? It's the question. I think I'm gonna use these 10 TU-134s and I'll call it. This has been a long episode, 36 minutes. Yeah, so 36-minute episode. Thank you guys who have watched the whole time, by the way. Really appreciate your time, and I'm glad you, well, at least hopefully enjoy my videos. I don't know why else you'd be watching for so long, but yeah, as I finish up here, I mean, all these Eastern European cities, I have never heard of most of these, to be honest, besides when playing Air Tycoon. Ooh, I forgot Iceland. I can probably reach Iceland with this, yeah. I mean, Reykjavik is not a particularly nice, or big city, but I'm unhappy it's not stopover capable. It would be really funny to do a lot of stopovers through Reykjavik, or however you pronounce the capital of Iceland. Yeah, if it were possible, it'd be hilarious to run a ton of stopovers through there. Obviously, unfortunately, that's not possible, thanks to, the way it works. I wish you could run a stopover through any city. I mean, I feel like it's a restriction to stop people from abusing the way you can play this game too hard. But at the same time, I don't understand the way the restriction is imposed, because I'm sure that in real life, certain cities don't just magically have the ability to be stopover capable or not. Also, guys, another idea is I could do one episode per hub. Would be another way to do these episodes. I really can't find uses for these 1 through 4s. I think I'm just gonna leave it. Like, save them for Paris, I guess. Ooh, this is another reason probably why. I think my Paris really should be about done now, so I'm just gonna max this out for a turn or two while this completes. Yeah, I really can't think of anything to do with my remaining planes, so I'm just gonna pass the turns basically until I can open a Paris up, or should I not? I should buy DC 1030s, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that. Let's buy DC 1030s to just make more long range routes. 1040s or 1030s? 1030s. Let's go ahead and minimize these. Okay, so I'm gonna buy one DC 1030 with relatively premium focused setup, something like this actually, with a slightly enlarged business class. And this one is going to be for Singapore, and the rest I'm going to shrink. Or not Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. I'm just going to run it direct. No, somebody's already... Alright. That's a bit sad. Moving on. Alright. Next month. And there we go. 226,000. So I think I'm going to call it, for this episode. Just gonna go through all the positions. I'm ready 10th. So first place is coming in no time, and I think I'm just gonna run away. Yeah. I think my exponential growth curve is still roughly keeping up. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it's still roughly exponential, though it's going to fall off a bit if I stop doing the Tupelo Boeing strategy. I'm just going to take a quick look at my routes. Sort by profit. Alright, and what we're looking for is load factors, which are not 100%, and a Boeing, and a red arrow. If I see those things together, that probably means I should start using smaller planes. And to be honest, I don't. I still do not see. Oh, and that's a Tupolev. So, yeah, I still don't actually see Boeings which aren't full. Like 100% full. Like obviously these ones aren't, but they're still really new routes. So maybe I should just keep buying Boeings. But where the frick do I stop them? You know what I mean? Like, I actually have no idea. Anyways, guys, I'll think about that off camera. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.